Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, say this is the morning podcast with Jacob and Ethan.
This is hell.
All right, so we're on video.
Yeah,
All right.
baby.
So welcome
Cheers.
cheers.
Yeah.
Nazravi.
Nazdravi.
I'm drinking tea out of this very strange cup. This is tea we're drinking, people.
Yeah, hurubu.
Yeah. So welcome to Breakfast to Sell podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, Jacob Yurakin on the other end. I have Morfeas Spanos. Morfeas, who are you?
Spanos.
Spanos.
Yes, unfortunately, we have so many accents as you have here in Czech.
Yeah.
Bananas. Terznice.
Turchice. Yeah. Well, do you accent the syllable the accent is on, or do you make it longer? Because in Czech you make it longer.
No, we don't have this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's better or worse, but we don't have this. But we can have the accent anywhere. So
Yeah.
depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I did some ancient Greek in college for a semester, but those are different. They have the curvy accent and the accent that goes left, like bottom left to top right,
Yeah,
and then one that goes
and the sia, yes.
and the one that goes the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole.
And the bubu is perispomeni.
Okay.
Yeah. Fuck it. We can say fuck, right?
Yeah, well, you can say whatever you
All
want.
right,
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
We are recording now?
we're recording.
Amazing. Banana one.
Banana. Yeah. You haven't dropped a boo-boo, I think, since we've been here, though.
No worries. We're
There
gonna
is no
have
boo-boo?
yeah, we're gonna have plenty of boo-boos
Okay.
on the show.
I have this is just the word of Morpheus is that he always throws out, and it's especially if we're out at night.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of boo-boos get thrown around.
Yeah, boo-boo.
And it's great because it doesn't mean anything. It means whatever you need it to mean in the moment. So Morpheus, what is your claim to fame? I guess you're a producer, musician here in Prague.
I think I'm a little bit of everything nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the last almost 2 years, give or take.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Were you producing in Greece too?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm been producing the last, let's say, 23 years, give or take, from several positions. And the last, let's say from 2006, so that gives us like what, 15 years? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, in 15 years, I've been a producer mainly as a main position.
Were you working in a studio?
Yeah, many of
Okay.
them. Many of them.
Okay.
I think I've been like in 30 studios
Okay.
in Athens.
Yeah. So but you were working out of Athens for all that. Okay.
Most, yes.
Yeah, I didn't realize you had come to Prague so recently. I thought you had been here longer.
No, it's only been a year, give or take.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in Athens and I was trying to find like open mics or jams or something to go to when I was there. There's not as much there as there is here.
Nope.
No.
We were hosting one of the 3 open mics back in Athens.
Yeah.
So it's not something that is in our culture, let's say.
Well, and even last night I was at Zizkov for the Sunday Jam, and then I went. You know Alex?
Alex, the Nicolas guy?
No, he's French.
He's French? No. I
No,
don't
there's a
think I
French
know.
Al. Anyway, I
don't-
was supposed to go do some rehearsing with him,
Uh-huh.
and we met at a cafe called Cafe Medium 43.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
And you know this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that turns into a jam session. So I'm at a jam session there, and I leave that place to go to another jam session somewhere else. It's like you can't escape jam sessions in this city.
Yes, unfortunately, I think.
Unfortunately, you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because either you could play gigs for tourists and play most of it covers, or you can go to an open mic / jam / chaotic thing and
Yeah.
knock your socks off. Simple as that.
Well, they're not. You don't enjoy them, like going up on stage and trying to play along with other people.
Of course, I enjoy, but it has some limitations, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good for being creative and spontaneous and sharing energy with new people,
Yeah.
but you need to make something out of it, you know, because especially here, because it's the exact opposite of Athens. You should make something out of it. One of the thoughts that I had for our open mic.
Yeah, you're sitting right under.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Sorry about that.
It's a little bit banana, but it's okay.
Are you gonna be okay?
I'm gonna manage it.
Okay.
No worries.
He's sitting right under a shelf.
Worst case scenario, the Xbox gonna come
Yeah.
right on me. So, one of the thoughts that I had is that maybe we could make a record out of the open mic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe have an interface with 8 or more channels and record everything, and at the end of it, we could have a season, let's say.
Yeah.
Out of it. So everybody could
Thank
have
you.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, you can come
on.
through. Go.
Yeah, no, come on.
This is Mirna. Mirna is bringing me a coffee.
Yeah.
Morpheus's partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Partner in crime, in
Partner in
love,
crime.
in everything.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Shit.
Sweet as baklava. Leave the baklava in the middle.
Mirna is she's a songwriter / musician here in Prague.
Yeah.
Mirna ne Mirna, which means what? It's like peaceful and unpeaceful, right?
Yes, but not unpeaceful in an evil way.
Like
Yeah, but not in peaceful in an evil way. It's just like
chaotic.
restless,
Yeah.
like hurricane. He calls me.
Yeah, yeah. Hurricanes aren't inherently evil,
Obviously.
obviously.
It's an act of God.
It's yeah. By the way, I've been meaning to ask you this.
Oh, really?
I see on your phone all the time that you have the picture of Jesus. Are you religious?
Obviously, I am religious.
I don't know that. Is it obvious?
Of course. I'm wearing, we call this koboskini, and this is one of the, let's say, trademarks of Orthodox Church.
Okay.
Yeah, and the picture that I have on my phone is from Salvatore Dali. It's
Yes,
the
it's-
Saint John
Okay.
on the cross.
I really like Salvador Dali's Crucifixion.
Yeah.
Do you know that one? It's so he has Christ like on like a 3D cross.
Yes, this is Saint John. Yes.
Oh, maybe this is a different one. Oh yeah, no. This there's also another Salvador Dali Crucifixion.
Yes.
And it's a little bit more cubist.
Yes.
It's kind of more like
Yeah,
it's-
yeah, yeah.
Okay. No, the one you're showing me is where Jesus looks down and like sees the world from the cross. Yeah, I was surprised at how religious Greece is when I was there. I did not know it was such a religious country.
Yes, it is. I think we and the Russians, we are the most, let's say, Talibans of Orthodox Church.
Yeah, well, and I feel like Polish people are very religious, but they're Roman Catholic. They're different, but yeah. I
Never been there.
Never.
Not yet.
Oh,
Not yet.
also very religious.
Not yet.
It's very close. Are you going soon, or?
I don't know. We're working now with Alexander Lutomsky from Replic Media. We're printing our CDs there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let's see. Hopefully, if everything stays open from October, let's say, we
Well,
could go and visit.
Did you see that the health minister said yesterday that they're not going to close shops down again?
Really?
Like he had a press release, I think maybe even an interview, and he said, no matter how bad it gets in the fall, we are not going to shut down shops or services or anything again.
Really?
We might restrict the size of public events.
Okay.
And we might mandate face masks, but we're not going to shut anything down again.
Oh, so we can still play music?
We can play music all winter
this
long,
is
baby.
gonna be a boo-boo, baby.
I know. It's going to be
Yeah.
the best one. I'm very excited. I've been sitting This whole summer thing, they can't do it. They can't shut things down again. If they do, I'm leaving. I'm just gonna like rage. We call it if you play video games ever. Yeah,
Yes.
and you know when somebody like just quits, like because
Yes.
they're losing, they call it a rage quit. Like I was just gonna rage quit Prague. Like, fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for playing.
Yeah, no. So we should have everything open all winter. Which oh god, it's such a. Even I can tell. Even being out yesterday at
Yeah.
Zizko, like there's something about everybody being locked in for a year that like before I was there before like in last summer and like you would maybe say hi to somebody on the street out smoking and like you have a little conversation, but like people aren't that excited to talk to other people. Like people are literally thrilled to like be speaking with people they don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like this, yeah.
Riskovsiska is a place like this. Yes.
It is, but I feel like it's also like in the city just generally, like people are just excited to meet new people and be outside and yeah.
Let's see when the tourists left the building, what's gonna be.
Oh yeah. Do you think we're getting a lot of tourists right now?
Oh, obviously, we are meeting tourists every night.
Yeah.
Last night we had
yeah.
the Swedish. Yeah, the last.
Did you end up playing for that girl's birthday, by the way, when we the Spanish
which
cup,
one?
the Spanish pair?
On Sadmans?
Because I was at Sadman's, yeah.
Sadman's.
Did they come the next night?
No.
No.
They didn't.
Okay.
No.
We met this Spanish pair at a place called Sadman's
Tongue.
Bistro? Tongue. Sadman's
Yeah.
Tongue and Bistro. And we met this, and they said they were going to come to Mirna and Morfeas' gig the next night, and you were going to have to learn her birthday song or something, right? Did you
Yeah.
actually learn it? No. Okay.
Improvise, baby.
Yeah. Oh, you were just gonna wing it in case it actually happened.
And probably just pass the microphone to her and bye.
Honestly, my personality would be I probably would have practiced that for an hour or two the next day, and then if she hadn't shown up, I would have been rage angry. Like
That's
that.
why we didn't.
Yeah. You're smarter. You're smarter
Yeah.
than me.
So, but that's most of the times that's the case.
That's what happens, right?
Yeah. They ask for a song. And when we have a break from the set, we try to implement the song on the next.
Okay.
set.
So you do actually take requests.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes we can manage. Sometimes we don't. And sometimes we try and we fail.
Right. Right. But you know they appreciate it. And
Depends. The last
Really?
time that we took a request was in Irish Times, and I've sung "Dancing Queen" in original key. That was bananas.
that sounds awesome. That sounds
Yes.
awesome.
Suddenly, Bruce Dickinson became the singer of ABBA.
Yeah. And what did the person who requested it think?
They were so drunk and so
Oh.
happy that they were having a birthday cuckoo
Yeah.
thingy in Irish Times. I don't know why people do things like that.
Like get drunk?
No, being at Irish Times and trying
Oh.
to have a birthday something.
It's probably a tourist, right? It's not.
Yeah.
No one's going to pay 80. What's it? Probably 80 crowns a beer there.
Even more, I think.
Even more?
Maybe. Ooh la la la.
120.
120.
At Irish Times
Yeah, for a pint.
for a pint. Jeez. Oh,
Figure that.
for a pint.
Yeah.
Oh, you get a whole pint.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is not a claim. This is, I think.
Okay.
I'm not 100%.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But a small Guinness, I paid 75, I think, around 70.
Okay.
Small Guinness.
Nevertheless, just to be fair, probably Irish Times has the not necessarily the best, but the most efficient and what's the word? Convenient, let's say.
Okay.
Yeah, people working there.
Really?
Yeah. So at the same time, you are in a tourist/Irish pub, and at the same time, you have this vibe that it's been run by a family and all that. So
Oh, so it's not a place I should necessarily avoid.
no,
Because a lot of those places I try to stay away from because it just you know what I mean.
yeah. No,
Um,
it's not for every day, but once per 2
Okay.
weeks, 3, whatever. It's
I
more
sh-
than enough.
I struggle to find places like Medium 43 because I feel like there's either there are cool places, but they're very Czech, and so I don't speak enough Czech to integrate, or they're very American/British, where like all the Americans go
Yeah.
to, and you don't actually meet anybody, and it's all just people who are here for a year at most. You know, it's hard to find like a truly like good place for internationals in Prague. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe we should build one.
We could.
Yeah.
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 I'll hammer some boards.
Yeah, you know, the one of the first things that happened, it was I was in the last night of Lamas,
Yeah.
and the first thing that I thought is why this place is closing.
I don't know llamas.
The Lama, yes, it was run by what was his name?
Where was it?
I don't remember. Yeah, the city center.
City center.
Yeah.
Huh.
It was an underground club, but at the same time, it had a ground floor with some kitchen and stuff like that, and some like 4 or 5 different rooms and a small stage. Just
Oh,
a
this sounds
group of-
great.
Yeah, yeah, it was
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, but it's gone now.
Yeah, too much cocaine.
Oh,
Sorry.
Really?
Oh, really?
I've never done cocaine.
Thank God for you.
But this is the thing: the more I mix with musicians, the more frequently I'm offered cocaine.
The last time in Irish Times, one of the tips was
Yeah.
2 grams of cocaine.
Wait, to you?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus! What is it about musicians and cocaine?
I don't know. I didn't ask for it, you know.
I'm not saying you did.
Yeah.
But it just seems to be like it just is the drug that follows musicians. That and weed.
Yeah. Hey, weed
Yeah.
is easier. But
Weed isn't even really a
yeah,
drug, in
but
my opinion.
instead of giving me 2 grams of cocaine, you could just give
Give
me
me some
5.
weed.
5
Yeah.
No, give me 5K in my pocket.
Oh, is that how much that would cost for 2
A
grams?
ruble, give or take.
5K crowns.
Yeah,
Okay.
obviously. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Not like
Euros,
5K
no.
dollars.
No.
Okay, or euros.
Yeah. So why don't you give me that money, you know?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he wanted a crazy night and
Oh, or he just had it on him. It's like I need to give a tip. and-
no.
no,
He went out
and bought
and
it.
before he got out, he asked me, I'm going to get some cocaine. Do you want some? And I say, and before I even reply, whatever, he went out
Yeah.
and in 3 minutes time, he's back and this is for you. What the baby, dude?
You know, this is something I'm sure you're much more familiar with this, but I'm struggling to get used to it. Is how much like when you're doing well, how much everybody wants to be your friend. Like when you're playing music and you know you're doing well, and like all of a sudden everybody wants to be your friend. Do you find this nice or do you find it annoying? Because I'm starting to find it quite fucking annoying.
It's a little bit ridiculous, you know.
Well, I find it like it's like when I go out, okay, I see people I like. If I enjoy talking to you, if I'm having fun, I have fun, right? But if it's like, okay, if I was doing badly, you would have no interest in talking to me. But for whatever reason, because I sounded better than the last guy, now you want to talk to me. Like it's kind of silly. You know what I mean? It gets a little. I feel like there's a lot of people like this. Like I come across a lot of people who can't play music, and so they just kind of like hover about places where music is being played, and when they find somebody who's doing well, they like swarm like a pack of dogs.
The boo-boo. Yes, sometimes, but you know, it's one of the prices that you have to pay.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Because if you can manage to transfer some energy out of a stage, then hopefully you're gonna get into some kind of, let's say, this kind of trouble.
Yeah.
So either you can manage it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the days when I was like 18, 20, and I was playing music with rock bands and stuff,
Yeah.
it was very, very difficult because I was playing the keys and almost every fucking night, even when I had a girlfriend, it was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because let's say 90% of women, they came after me with no fucking reason.
Yeah.
Because if they met me on the street or whatever,
If they met you on the street,
yeah,
like
that's it.
That's the thing that like gets me about
I was
it
like the next guy. That was simple as
Right.
that. But and obviously I'm not a chauvinist pig or whatever. It just happens to be. I am a man. Simple as
Yeah.
that. So Mirna could probably or whatever Mirna or whatever.
she would probably
Morfeas.
have an easier time
Yeah.
than either of us.
Oh, Bobo, you cannot imagine.
Wait, really? Do you have to fight people off?
No, no, no.
Okay.
First of all, I don't like this either way.
Okay.
I'm not. No, I'm not on the jealous.
You're
Kind
not
of.
I know you're not.
No,
yeah.
no.
She'd be more likely, I feel like, to beat a woman up than anything.
Yes, I think. Whoopsie.
That's a good quality. It means she likes you.
That's highly debatable, I think.
But I guess I guess that's like what the thing about it, and it's not even just like people who want to like get with you. I mean, like just people who want to be your friend, because it's like it's somebody who if they didn't know you were a musician, right, or they didn't know. I even have it sometimes with this podcast, like where if they didn't know you were like moderately successful or good at something, and they just met you at a party or at a bar. Like, they would have no interest in you, right? But it's like, for whatever reason, because you were the guy on stage. And I don't have any point to this. There's no point I'm trying to make. But it's something I've started to notice in the last couple weeks, and I find it annoying. Because it's so obvious. It's so, like I try to be somebody who, like, meets people and, like, I don't care if you're very good or very bad. Like, I meet you, I know you, etc. Like, but I there are people who, like... oh, like I'm going to ignore this person. Like they're very opportunistic. You know, they're very much trying to get with whoever's going to get them into the party or get them into the scene, and I don't like it.
Or get them drunks or get them drugs or get them drunk or whatever. Yeah. But you know, it's exactly like the previous conversation that we had about the mill workers and the musicians. It's there is
There's no difference.
yeah, there's no difference.
The only difference between a mill worker and a musician is that one person's on a stage. Like you have to grind it out.
Yeah.
Both
simple as that.
Both tend to come to work drunk or high.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of depression.
Like, oh, you cannot imagine.
Dude, I think like mental illness like per square inch. I think musicians take the cake. I think if you want to see a bunch of anxious, depressed people, just get a bunch of musicians in a room.
Just go to Ziskovsiska.
So true.
Yes, it's packed.
There's
No
a reason
worries.
why everyone is drinking or
Obviously.
doing weed. Like there's a reason for it.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Because if you don't try to work with yourself
Yeah.
in any, I don't know, I have religion and therapy, and theater also. So
Oh, you do theater.
yeah, I was doing. I'm not still doing theater because the last production that I did for a play was. We have now COVID 2 years almost 2 years ago. I was fortunate
You were
enough.
producing or acting?
I was producing. I was writing the music for the play, and at the same time, I was training the actors to be as good as possible they could on the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was a vocal coach also on that, but I was blessed to do both at the same time. I was in IT when IT started in 90 in the 90s.
Right.
And at the same time, I was doing music. I was playing as a DJ to some warehouses. I was playing drum and bass and stuff like that.
I can't imagine this.
Me neither. Not
Warehouse Morfeas.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well, uta poo-poo, yeah. But at the same time, I was doing music and I was doing theater. So it's a form of therapy, yes.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of your seat and goodness at the same time outside.
Yeah.
But if you really want to avoid to be an alcoholic or a drug addict or whatever, you
Yeah.
need to do something more. I would not call it serious necessarily, but I would call it more adult, you
Yeah.
know, because you will never grow up if you don't do this. Simple as that.
Yeah, that is. Well, and I feel like I have the problem, especially I think with Americans I meet over here, is that a lot of people had problems in the States, and that's why they came here. So they weren't like facing their problems; they were just running away from them. So
Yeah.
you do come across a lot of Americans, especially. I mean, you come across them generally in life, but I feel like in Prague, especially Americans, you find this is that there's a lot of people that are in kind of like a prolongated youth. Like they're still acting like a teenager even though they're in their mid to late 20s because they've just have this habit of running away from things that are difficult. And so they never actually have to face them. Yeah. No, I've done therapy. I think it's important to do,
Yeah.
and I think it's important too to like watch how much that you're consuming and like if you're, I don't do cocaine.
Me neither.
Yeah. Maybe one day I'll do I think the next thing for me is psychedelics, but
Yeah.
I'm worried that like I'm going to be one of those guys that does them and then like has schizophrenia after, which is like there's a small number of people who take psychedelics and then develop schizophrenia. So I'm waiting like when I start smoking again in my 40s, maybe that's when I'll finally take mushrooms or something.
Look, you are already 28, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you have already one of the pillows on your back because especially serious mental illness,
Yeah.
it could come across if you are around 25, maximum 30.
Yeah.
Especially with psychedelics, it was a little bit weird experience,
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to see suddenly trees talking back at you or to see your friend running naked with a torch in his
Yeah.
head. It's bananas.
But I don't think people realize who haven't done them. I had a lot of friends in university who did a lot of hard drugs, and the experiences you have on them are as real as any other experience you have in your life. So you become a person who has seen trees talking to you.
Yeah.
Or you've become a person who has waged a 300-year war against a dragon.
Yeah.
You become that person.
Yeah.
And that's a whole ledge. I'm not sure
Are
I'm
we
ready.
gonna go to Don Quixote now? We're gonna make
yeah.
that transition.
We were talking about Don Quixote a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Meals and
Well,
psychedelics.
and
Boom.
Oh, yes, were we talking about psychedelics then too? Yeah, I guess we were because I think I asked. Should I? I don't know if I should say her name or not, but our friend
Doesn't matter.
if she had ever tried them, and she was like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, like the sweetest person you've ever met. Like she's very demure, very quiet, and then she's like, "You ever done drugs?" Yeah, I've done like the last person I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And suddenly you have a list.
and suddenly you have a list.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you feel about Shakespeare?
I was waiting for that.
We had like an hour-long conversation
Yeah,
about
about Hamlet. Yeah.
Yeah, which was actually was really like deep too. It was we got like 5 different ways of looking at the play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
But you're a big fan of Hamlet. I didn't know you did theater, so that helps explain that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I gave you probably a very completely different point of view,
Yeah.
because it's very different when you see, let's say, my 2 favorite Hamlets till now. Oh, I'm gonna name 3. It was Gibson, it was Tennant, and it was Hawke. The Tennant and the Hawke one, it was a little bit more, let's say, modern. And the Gibson was Zeffirelli one. It was bananas hardcore.
Yeah.
Um, But the main issue that we had on Hamlet, it was that I can't say I know because I never met Shakespeare. We didn't have the conversation.
We missed him last time
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
in
yeah.
Prague. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing. But I think probably it's his most, let's say, esoteric work that he did.
I feel like actually Hamlet's pretty straightforward. I feel like King Lear is. Yeah, I feel like some of the later plays, but I think this is like I think a personal thing. I was thinking about this yesterday. Is that I think there's one kind of person who likes, Oedipus Rex, that play.
Yeah.
Because I'm finally reading, Aeschylus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're a theater guy. I guess why should I even? I'm reading some Aeschylus right now, and I was thinking, there's somebody who likes Hamlet and Oedipus Rex. They like a very well-constructed, well-rounded, all the bricks are in place kind of play.
Every tragedy,
Yeah.
obviously.
Well, but for me, I'm more of a guy who likes things like King Lear, or I don't know if you know the Bacchae by Euripides.
Yeah.
Like plays where everything.
I'm Greek.
Yes. I don't know how many just because you're Greek doesn't mean you know like a play 2,000 years old, but
Come on.
Yeah.
We've been taught that. I was in
really you
high
get
school.
taught that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's one of my favorite plays. But that's a play that is where everything is just bonkers, And I think it's just like a personal thing where I prefer a work of art like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I need things to be bonkers.
Every tragedy is bonkers. Either way.
Kind of.
Yeah, every.
Yeah.
And at the same time, as you said, it could be a comedy at the same time.
Well, yeah, I think that's one of the things about Hamlet is it's operating on some level as a comedy, right? And I think it's operating on some levels it operates on multiple levels. Like there's a surface. It's like almost like Romeo and Juliet. Like there's this surface level. You can read it on the surface, and it's a straight tragedy. And with a guy who has lots of beautiful poetry about what does life mean. And then on another level, it's a comedy where Hamlet is this very ridiculous character who is like, who spends like 5 acts debating like the single question, like can't make up his damn mind. And then
Should I kill the fucker or not?
yeah, like just make a choice, dude. And then there's another level where it's like, it's almost like it's real life meets the play. Like you have all these very theatrical characters and Hamlet who's very human. So it's like there's that level to Hamlet. And then let's not even get into the psychological elements with him and his mother and him and his father. And so there's a lot going on there. And there's a lot of theories that Shakespeare actually was working on that play for like 10 years. Like he started working on it near the beginning of his career. And I kind of buy that because there's just like so much in there. Like it had to be a long time to build it.
Yeah.
But
He was very elaborate about it.
yeah, there's just so much going on. But I don't know. I think part of the reason I have a problem with Hamlet is when I was a teenager, like that was my play. It was like I'm Hamlet in my heart, and so adult me just can't open up to that play anymore.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it just feels like too much like teenage me. Like it's too teenage.
It's very therapeutic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said it's very esoteric. Because let's say that at least for, I don't know how many years, we have the so-called patriarchy. The Hamlet and Ophelia is almost the the couple that we should be, or even if you want,
That we should be.
yeah,
We should be like Hamlet and Ophelia.
and even better, if you say that every character in this play, it's a fiction of Hamlet, then he tries to figure out his feminine side through Ophelia. And that's why he has the complex with his mother.
Okay. So you think he's trying to figure out his feelings about Ophelia and can't do it?
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Well, yeah, he definitely is very conflicted about how he feels about
yeah.
Ophelia.
And
yeah.
that's why he says to her that God gave you gave you a face and you try to build another.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, and it is funny because I feel like Ophelia just very much wants to marry Hamlet. Like she already knows what she wants the whole time of the play.
Yeah.
And Hamlet can't decide what he wants with her.
Yeah, and her father says, no,
Yeah.
you cannot have him.
Yeah.
Yeah. All he wants is to get into your pants, nothing else.
Yeah, well, yeah, he talks bad about Hamlet's character, definitely. Which Hamlet, obviously, like, Hamlet has, like, is so confused about sex.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, which I guess is another element of the play, right? Yeah. And Hamlet never really grows up, Like, Hamlet isn't...
Yeah,
Yeah.
and almost he never had any regret, even when he killed the poor dude.
He's very childish in a way.
Yes.
He hasn't come to terms with, like, sex. He hasn't come to terms with his parents having their own lives. He hasn't come to terms with, like, the fact that you're going to die. Like, he hasn't come to terms with anything. He never really
You
even...
cannot have terms with a killer. Come on.
But you can make peace with the fact that you're going to die, or you can become more at peace with it. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to love it, but you can live with it.
Obviously.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's I'm trying to think of my favorite Shakespeare. King Lear is definitely my favorite. I also like Othello. I don't like Macbeth that much. Othello, King Lear. I'd have to think more on the others. Troilus and Cressida is pretty good. I like the weird ones. I think I think you can just assume, like, if it's noisy and chaotic, it's what's for me.
Yeah.
But not experimental. Like super, if it's just being experimental for the sake of being experimental, I hate these things.
I think Shakespeare was more than enough experimental for his times.
Oh yeah. Well, have you read any of the other playwrights around the time? So like, up until that time in the English language, they were all trying to sound like Roman plays. Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so the diction, like when you go back and read it now, it sounds horrible. But at the time, that's all they knew. And then here comes this guy who's really like, for as difficult as people think Shakespeare is, and like it's actually very simple English, and it's not very like like a well-educated like it's incredibly complex, but it's not like complicated. Like there's a lot going on, but it's actually using like relatively conversational English.
Yeah.
Which is like completely different from what anyone else was doing up until his time. Yeah. So and they all made fun of him. Like they thought like, oh, he thinks he's so great, and he also like he wrote his sonnets, right, and some other poems, because that was considered serious poetry. Like no one considered his plays serious poetry at the time, because plays weren't poetry to them.
Yeah, obviously.
So yeah, and like now we look back and the greatest writer ever lived, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we call him a poet.
Oh, he definitely is. Yeah. Yeah. So I think there's some value to doing things, but also I can say like there's value to doing things that people that are different, but also he had an audience. Like, he was very successful too in his time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he deserved that.
Oh, I had a girl in college and university tell me once that you couldn't call Shakespeare art or Shakespeare an artist because he was popular.
Really?
Yes.
Alrighty then.
Not even on the virtue of his work or anything. She said because he was popular, it's not art.
Okay, good luck with that.
Yeah. I was like, sometimes education can make a person stupid.
Yeah.
And that was one of them.
Oops. Whoopsie.
Yeah. You don't agree with that.
Obviously.
It's okay. Art can be popular.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, it's exactly. Oh, we had again.
We kind of had this.
Yeah, with the Michael Jackson thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think Michael Jackson, I don't think Bad is overrated. I think that's a decent album.
I think my favorite is the Dangerous one.
That was right after Bad, wasn't it? Or was...
Nope. The Dangerous was after. I think Dangerous, in reality, was his last. No, the last album was Death in the Dance Floor, something like that. Oh, I
I
can't
didn't
recall.
realize you were such a Quincy Jones fan.
Oh, Babubu, obviously.
Yeah.
He reinvented music in a way.
Okay. You know more than me about producing, so I can't argue with this. About
It's
you.
not
Yeah.
about producing necessarily. It's about how things was arranged and what instrumentation he decided that he wants to implement. Because in every, not only in Jackson's work, but let's stay there. Um, if you listen to Bad, Thriller, and Dangerous, you can even say that he's a different artist. If he had used a different kind of voice, you couldn't say probably that that was a Michael Jackson's record.
Yeah.
Especially Dangerous, he has even hip hop beats inside
Yeah.
and
yeah.
electric guitar solos and whatever.
You like how many different genres he pulled from.
Of course.
You respect him for that.
Of
okay.
course, of course.
Okay.
As I could say for Prince also.
Yeah, yeah.
Or for Billy Joel, or not necessarily Elton John, but even for Elton John.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been able to love Prince as much as I should. Like I can respect the music, but I think it's the programmed drums. I just don't like the sound of his drum machines.
Not necessarily. I think he played drums in most of his records. He was a multi-instrument.
I know he played drums, but I
Yeah.
think a lot of the times, like even though he could play drums, I know on when doves cry, he like intentionally used programmed drums, and I
Yeah.
feel like he did that a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like his drums. It all sounds like very fuzzy, like his music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
which
is.
it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wanted that edge. Because I think...
Well, I don't even mean fuzzy. I mean kind of like
Yeah.
But it feels very kind of like there's an atmosphere. Like it's a smoky room.
Yes.
See,
yes.
Maybe this will help. I like Steve Albini. I think is my favorite producer.
Uh-huh.
So I guess my sound is like, I don't know. I don't like programmed drums and atmosphere and yeah. I just don't like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, obviously.
But no, I can respect it. I definitely hear what you're saying with Prince. I still disagree with you on Quincy Jones.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna die.
No one's gonna die.
And maybe the listeners will be more, I don't like the verb, but they're gonna be even more motivated right now to listen to
Right.
some Prince and all of the artists that we
Yeah.
already mentioned.
I mean, I did like Sign of the Times.
Yeah.
All right. So, is there anything you wanted to talk about or bring up that when you came on here? Anything you wanted to say?
Not necessarily, because
Okay.
I was expecting from you to surprise me, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Surprise you with what?
I don't know.
Like what do you what can I do? Like, okay, my first thought was, why is he making this dirty? But then my second thought was, that wasn't too far of a stretch.
You know, I was expecting the religion question. I was expecting the Shakespeare question. That was yeah. Come on.
I didn't have
we,
any.
we had a debate over an
Yeah.
hour. Obviously, I was
Yeah.
expecting.
I didn't have any questions prepared. I just was trying to bring up things that I know we generally talk about when we get together. So
Yeah.
and have them recorded. So by the way, you run. Would you call it a company? MadArt.
Yes,
Yes, you are the owner of MadArt.
I'm trying to.
Okay. And do you want to give any shout outs to your artists or anything?
I don't think I should, but probably because you just asked, I think I should. So
I feel like they don't deserve it.
that was a nasty one.
I didn't say it. You're the one. Look, I don't feel like I should shout at them. Well, I'm not gonna shout them out unless you make me.
Yeah, but because you were eating the baklava and at the same time, instead of sweet words, it became dirty. So probably the pistachio is responsible for that.
Yeah.
Okay, right now we're working with Mirna for 3 EPs.
You guys have been working for a while, haven't you, on things?
Yeah, yeah. We're finishing now her first basking thingy, also with Anna.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Are these going to be covers or her originals?
a little bit of both.
Okay.
No, in reality, it's like 4 years. 3 already. It's 3. 3 or 4 doesn't matter, and everything else is a cover, but in a very
I don't care. We'll put 5 if you want.
peculiar way. So hopefully the basking EP is gonna be out September, and the Croatian EP would be out in October. We have a name, not necessarily. Okay.
Okay. Well, it will have a name eventually.
Obviously.
I think that should be the Croatian EP.
Yeah, I don't know how you can say untitled in Croatian, so. And also an English one. So that's 3 already. We finished with Noah, not Tortelli, because, just because you know him.
Doesn't mean
that,
right.
that everybody knows him. We finished the Seasons of Life. We're now on the second version that's gonna be here in Prague and also in Italy. So we have our first distributor in Italy right now.
Good.
And hopefully we're gonna have a distributor also in Croatia. So we start building the thing, because even if I love the digital thing with everything that we have right now, as we said already, in the 70s you could do something like this.
Yeah.
We have a thingy recording and another thingy recording, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm still an analog guy, so we print everything in CDs and hopefully some vinyls.
Yeah, the vinyls would be cool.
Yeah.
I would take some vinyls back home for some gifts.
Ura, boo boo. It's a pee. So that's the 4th one. We finished with Thanos the Clean Slate Planet. Now
What the fuck is he doing in where is he at? France?
France,
Did he
yes.
just leave Prague? He's done with it?
No, not at all. But you know when hallelujah.
Nothing broke.
Nothing broke.
Nothing broke.
Amazing. You know when
Lockdown?
yeah, the lockdown was a little bit of a heat, under the belt. So
You guys were working all through it too.
yes,
Yeah.
thank God for that, because we wouldn't have Clean Slate Planet.
No. Well,
Otherwise,
and also I think the value of work, like when you're having a tough time, like sometimes you got to work through it. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And now he's having some good time in France, and he's playing some very intimate small gigs, and it's
And we had him on
kinky.
episode 16, I think it was. Yeah.
Oh, you remember the number? Oh,
I tried to.
That's right.
I try to remember what the different numbers mean, but
Yeah.
they're starting to be a few too many for me to like, was that 15, 14, whatever. But okay, so you got those 3. You got Mirna, Noah Tortelli, and Thanos working with.
Yeah, and now we're gonna finish also with Hendrik. He's a very cool German dude.
Oh, I don't know him.
Yeah,
Oh, what's his name?
Hendrik.
Hendrik.
Hendrik Silva. I think I pronounced that right.
You
Doesn't
probably
matter.
did.
Yeah,
I think I've seen the name on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's one thing is I can't remember names from meeting people in person, but then I see them all again on Facebook, and so that's how I know. I know who people are even if I haven't met them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird. All right. Well, I think
Yeah.
probably as good of a place of any to
Yes.
cut it.
Yes.
And thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Banana.